Hello students, how are you? How is your study? I hope you are doing well. Students, today I am going to teach you 10th standard second language English prose number 3, Gentlemen of Rio and Medio. Before going to start the lesson, I want to tell you a few things about the lesson. The lesson tells us that the human relation with land and human relation with his descendants. Before going to start the lesson, we have to know a brief information about the author of the lesson, Juan A. Cedillo. So, this is the image of Juan A. Cedillo. Here we have a brief information about Juan A. Cedillo. Juan A. Cedillo, 1902 to 1982, was born in Mexico. He worked as a lawyer and held public office. He wrote about Mexico and southwestern United States. The story is based on an actual legal case. So, this is the story based on actual legal case. Yes, let us see the map of USA, the incident which happened in United States of America in the state of New Mexico. So, this is the particular place Santa Fe, the city which is the actual story has taken place. Before going to start the lesson, you have a video clipping. Watch the video clipping, then afterwards we will discuss.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, son.
Dad, I need some money.
Money? Why do you need the money?
I want to buy a car.
Sorry, I have no money right now.
So, why don't we sell our land?
No, I don't agree with you.
Why?
It's inherited from my ancestors.
So what?
It's my prized possession.
But I need a car now.
You can arrange the money somewhere else.
Why don't you sell this piece of your land?
Because we let it to our descendants.
Then, what's the use of that?
Our next generation will remember us.
Is it so?
They'll look after these trees.
Oh, really sorry. I never thought so.
It's okay. I'll be happy.
Okay. How was the video clipping? Did you enjoy? Okay. Let us move on to the next part. Students, this is the image of Don Anselmo, the hero of this lesson. Before going to know about him and his principles, first we have to read the text. Okay? Let us read the text.
It took months of negotiation to come to an understanding with the old man. He was in no hurry. What he had the most of was time. He lived up in Rio and Medio, where his people had been for hundreds of years. He tilled the same land they had tilled. His house was small and wretched, but quaint. The little creek ran through his land. His orchard was narrowed and beautiful. The day of the sale, he came into the office. His coat was old, green, and faded. I thought of Senator Catron, who has been such a power with these people up there in the mountains. Perhaps it was one of his old Prince Alberts. He wore gloves. They were old and torn, and his fingertips showed through them. He carried a cane, but it was only the skeleton of worn-out umbrella. Behind him walked one of his innumerable kin, a dark young man with eyes like a gazelle. The old man bowed to all of us in the room. Then he removed his hat and gloves slowly and carefully. Chaplin once did that in a picture In a bank, he was the janitor. Then he handed his things to the boy who stood obediently behind the old man's chair. There was a great deal of conversation about Rain and his family. He was very proud of his large family. Finally, we got down to business. Yes, he would sell, as he had agreed, for $1,200 in cash. We would buy, and the money was ready. Don Anselmo, I said to him in Spanish, we have made a discovery. You remember that? We sent that surveyor, that engineer, up there to survey your land so as to make the deed. Well, he finds that you own more than 8 acres. He tells us that your land extends across the river and that you own almost twice as much as you thought. He didn't know that. And now, Don Anselmo, I added, these Americans are Buna gent. They are good people and they are willing to pay you for the additional land as well at the same rate per acre, so that instead of $1,200 you will get almost twice as much, and the money is here for you. The old man hung his head for a moment in thought. Then he stood up and stared at me. Friend, he said, I don't like to have you speak to me in that manner. I kept still and let him have his say. I know these Americans are good people, and that is why I have agreed to sell to them. But I do not care to be insulted. I have agreed to sell my house and land for $1,200, and that is the price. I argued with him, but it was useless. Finally, he signed the deed and took the money, but refused to take more than the amount agreed upon. Then he shook hands all around, put on his ragged gloves, took his stick, and walked out with the boy behind him.
Okay, dear students, I hope you observed my reading. Let us move on to the glossary and usage of this lesson. Let us know the meaning of the word negotiation, which means official discussion. The usage of the word is, a negotiation was held in 2014 between some Poland senators and foreign delegates. So, this is the image of the Poland senators with the foreign delegates, the negotiation. The next word, wretched, which means unpleasant or not attractive. The usage of the word is, my wretched car has broken down again. So, wretched means unpleasant, which means halagiruvantaha. Okay. Quaint, the meaning of the word, unusual and attractive, especially in an old fashioned way. We can see Don Anselmo's house was quaint, it was unusual and attractive, and it is in an old fashioned way. Another word, gnarled, which means a branch of a tree with twisted hard lumps. The usage of the word is, we can see many gnarled trees beside the state highway. You can see the image that branches and lumps of the trees are twisted, which means they are not properly maintained every year. So, creek, which means a small narrow stream or river, a small narrow stream. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಝರಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ ತೊರೆ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. The usage of the word is, a little creek runs through my land. Another word, orchard, a piece of land in which fruit trees are grown, fruit garden, okay. Orchard, which means a piece of land in which fruit trees are grown. Prince Albert's long double breasted coat. Gazelle, a type of small deer which has large beautiful eyes. This is the image of gazelle. Just you can observe the eyes of the gazelle, which is a large beautiful eyes. So, here is a comparison made between the two. One is a dark young man, another one is a gazelle. The eyes of both a dark young man and a gazelle are compared. A dark young man with eyes like a gazelle. So, like, the word like has used to compare these two things. So, this is called simile. In Kannada, upamalankara. So, Charlie Chaplin 1889 to 1977, silent film comedian. So, the author introduced this character. Charlie Chaplin's film, one of his film, in the film Bank, Charlie Chaplin greeted the people by removing his hat. So, the same action has made by Don Anselmo when he greeted the people when he entered into the office. So, janitor, someone whose job is to look after a school or a large building. So, janitor mean, so look after the school or large building. Senator Catron, this is the picture of Senator Catron, he is a senator. So, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಸತ್ ಸದಸ್ಯ ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So, in the same way in America, senator is called the representative of American Senate. So, Thomas Benton Catron is senator from New Mexico from 1912 to 1917. This is the map of New Mexico. So, Don, which means Spanish title of respect, much like sir in English. Buena gente, good people, it is a Spanish word, English meaning is good people. Deed, agreement. So, cane, the usually the old people are use the cane to walk for support. So, let us move on to the vocabulary. One word substitution. A sentence or a group of words has to be replaced with a single word. It is called one word substitution. We can also call this which is reverse to the meaning of word. So, word followed by the meaning, it is new words meaning. So, opposite of that one word substitution, let us see the first example. A branch of a tree with twisted hard lumps. This is a phrase given, we are going to select a word, suitable word, equivalent meaning to these phrases. So, narrowed, the unusual and attractive, especially in an old fashioned way, quaint. So, Don Anselmo's house was quaint but attractive. Someone whose job is to look after a school or a large building. So, janitor, a type of small deer which has large beautiful eyes. Gazelle. Look for the words in the word maze which match with the given meaning. The number given in the brackets is the number of letters in that word. So, look at the word maze. You are going to find out the word the phrase is a long thin stick. The 4-letter word you are going to find out in this word maze, which means cane. A long thin stick is cane. Finding something that was not known earlier. Find out the 9-letter word in the word grid. Discovery. Thing or things that someone owns. The word has 8 letters. Property. A place where fruit trees are grown. The word has 7 letters. Orchard. The word is orchard. Let us move on to the next part, comprehension part. The first question is, how did the old man greet the people who had been waiting for him? The old man bowed to all of them in the room. Then he removed his hat and gloves slowly and carefully. Describe the old man's orchard. The old man's house was small and wretched, but quaint. A little creek ran through his land. His orchard was narrowed and beautiful. So, let us see the picture. You can see the orchard. A little creek ran through the orchard. We can see a small house and also many narrow trees are seen in this picture. The storyteller offered the old man almost the double of what he had quoted earlier. Why? Because he sent a surveyor to survey the old man's land. He discovered that Don Anselmo owned more than 8 acres of land. So, he offered double of what he had quoted earlier. Students, look at the picture of the old man, Don Anselmo, and draw your inference about the appearance of old man and his social living condition. Did you get anything? Let us move on to the answer. His coat was green, old and faded. He carried a cane, which was not actually cane, but it was only the skeleton of a worn out umbrella. He wore gloves, they were old and torn. Okay. So, what do you understand from this? The old man's condition and his socio-economic condition. He was not a rich man, but he was a principled man. The old man agreed to sell the land for how much dollar? $1,200. Let us move on to the grammar section. Learn grammar through communication. So, if clause, a conditional clause that states a hypothesis or condition, real or imagined situation. Hypothesis means ಊಹೆ ಅಥವಾ ಕಲ್ಪನೆಗಳು. So, when we are using such hypothesis conditions or imagined situation, we use if clauses. So, let us move on to the first conditional clause. It is possible to fulfill conditions or open condition, or we can call it as type 1 condition. So, first part generally if clause and the next one main clause. In the first clause we can see simple present tense, in the main clause we can see subject and the modal auxiliary will and verb 1. Let us see the example. If I am not busy, I will help you. Dependent clause. If I am not busy, it is a dependent clause. I will help you is the main clause. So, in the if clause we can see simple present tense, and in the main clause will and base form help is given. In the second example, if you work hard you will win the prize. So, again in the if clause work, the base verb or simple present verb is given. In the main clause will plus V1 form win is given. Okay, let us observe it. What is the purpose of this using first conditional clause? It is possible to fulfill the condition, means if I am not busy I will help you. So, it may possible in future. Okay. It is quite possible in future. The condition is possible to fulfill. Second conditional clause, it is theoretically possible to fulfill conditions. So, theoretically possible, which means ಅಥವಾ ಅಸಂಭವ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಇಂಪ್ರಾಬಬಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್, ಅಸಂಭವವಾದ ಸಂದರ್ಭ. So, it is theoretically possible to fulfill condition, but we cannot go to the past. So, improbable condition or type 2 condition. In this type of sentences, in the if clause, the past verb or simple past verb given or past simple or simple past. So, V2 form given in the if clause. In the main clause we can see would plus verb 1 or would plus you can say a base verb. Let us see the example and analyze the sentence. If I won the lottery I would buy a car. So, just look at the example. If I won the lottery I would buy a car. Is it possible to win the lottery, go back to the past and again go back to buy a car? Is it possible? No. Why? We cannot create past. We can go to future or we can do the things in present, but we cannot go to past. So, that it is theoretically possible, but improbable means asambhava. It is only for theoretically possible and improbable situation. If I won the lottery I would buy a car. Second example, let us go and see the second example. If I needed help I would ask you. So, it is also the same condition. The verb which tells or which express the simple past and also main clause I would ask you. We cannot go to past to fulfill this type of condition. It is only theoretically possible. Okay, next one students, the third type of if clauses or condition type 3 or third conditional clauses. So, let us see the definition. It is impossible to fulfill, express or complaints. We can use these type of sentences to express regret. We can use such type of sentences to express the complaint and imaginary situations. It is impossible to fulfill the situation or condition. So, these type of sentences if clauses are called third type or condition type 3. So, just look at the structure of the clauses. So, in dependent clause we have only past perfect and past perfect and past participle. In the main clause we can see subject plus would plus have plus past participle. Let us go and see the first example. In the first example, if you had studied hard, so had past perfect, studied past participle. This is in dependent clause. In the next clause or main clause you would have passed the exam. So, would have passed. So, model auxiliary would plus have, passed is PP form, past participle form given in the independent clause. So, it is impossible to fulfill. Just you see, just to understand this, this statement, if you had studied hard, you would have passed the exam. ನೀನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓದಿದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ನೀನು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್? ಸೊ you are not passed in the examination. Okay, it is impossible to fulfill, or you may say, you may the tone of the sentence is maybe express complaint, okay, or impossible to fulfill. Let us move on to the next sentence. If he had talked to me, I would have listened to him. Here the independent clause I would have listened to him. In this independent clause, would plus have plus listened, PP form given in the independent clause. In the dependent clause, had again past perfect and talked, past participle is given. So just understand the sentence. If he had talked to me, I would have listened to him. The tone is just like complaining. The third example, if she had saved money, she would have bought a bicycle. So again past perfect plus past participle in dependent clause, and in independent clause would plus have plus past participle is given. So just you understand that one. If she had saved money, it's just like complaining. If she had saved money, she would have bought a bicycle. So ಅವಳು ಹಣವನ್ನು ಉಳಿಸಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಬೈಸಿಕಲನ್ನು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ this type of sentences or if clauses we can use to express impossible conditions, or impossible express complaints, or regret, or imaginary situations. Okay, dear students, let us move on to the last part of the lesson, home assignment. Let us go and see the first question. Why do you think the storyteller spoke Spanish? Describe the old man's orchard. The third question, what was the reaction of the old man to the storyteller's offer? Give one word for Spanish title of respect, much like sir in English. Thank you all students. I hope you enjoyed the class. Before going to stop this class, I want to give information that please open your textbook and open the page number 45. On the top of the page you have a QR code. Please scan this QR code and you will get notes, the videos which related to this unit. Okay? Thank you all.